Benefits of self-awareness. Are you ready to learn more about yourself and unleash your potential for personal growth? In this chapter, we explore the concept of self-awareness and discover how to understand your own strengths and weaknesses, recognize your own thoughts, feelings, and actions, evaluate your motivations, and develop your own objectivity through self-reflection. You'll also learn to accept and appreciate yourself, examine how your relationships influence your self-perception, and develop strategies for recognizing and building success. Gain the confidence to make decisions that will move you toward your goals with the mastery of immersion. Unleash your potential with self-awareness. Understand yourself better and reap the benefits of personal growth. Gain understanding of personal strengths and weaknesses. Examining your strengths and weaknesses is important in understanding yourself and developing self-awareness. Knowing your strengths can help you better utilize them in a variety of situations and become more successful in life. Likewise, understanding your weaknesses can help you identify potential improvements and determine the best way to overcome them. Recognizing your strengths helps you move forward and feel confident in yourself. Pay attention to your accomplishments and successes and use them to highlight your strengths. This can give you a better understanding of what you're good at and help you decide which path is best for you. Conversely, it's also important to be honest with yourself about what you're not good at. Identifying your weaknesses can be just as important as recognizing your positive traits. Acknowledging your weaknesses will help you understand where you need to put more effort and where you can improve. Additionally, optimizing different strengths can compensate for different weaknesses, giving you valuable insight into how to best utilize your strengths. Having a good understanding of your strengths and weaknesses is important for developing self-awareness and growing as an individual. Take the time to recognize and identify your personal strengths. Be honest with yourself about your personal weaknesses and examine how different strengths and weaknesses can be used in different situations. This will give you a better understanding of yourself and where you need to go next. Recognizing thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Learning how to recognize and distinguish between thoughts, feelings, and actions is an important part of developing self-awareness. It is important to understand the subtle connections between them and how they interact. These connections can help us understand how our thoughts, feelings, and actions shape our lives. Thinking is a cognitive process that occurs within the mind. This includes ideas, opinions, judgments, beliefs, images, and memories. Emotions are emotional reactions to external or internal stimuli. They range from positive emotions such as joy, satisfaction, and enthusiasm to negative emotions such as fear, sadness, and anger. Behavior is how we act in response to our thoughts and emotions. They may be intentional or unintentional, and serve as a source of feedback about how effective our actions are in achieving our goals. By becoming aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, you can begin to identify unhelpful and negative behavioral patterns. We can also recognize distorted thinking patterns that can influence our decisions and actions. Learning how to recognize these patterns is the first step to reversing them. When we understand the connections between our thoughts, feelings, and actions, we can more easily recognize the impact they have on our lives. For example, if we feel anxious, our thoughts may be filled with worry and self-doubt. These thoughts can lead to avoidance behaviors, such as procrastinating or becoming overly dependent on others. Recognizing this connection can help you address underlying issues and make better decisions. By becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions, we can better understand what motivates us to make certain decisions and take certain actions. This can be a useful tool for self-exploration and can help uncover the underlying reasons why we make certain choices. With this insight, we can begin to change our behavior to align with our values and goals. Benefits of self-awareness. Exploring and assessing motivation for decisions and actions. Understanding the motivation behind your decisions and actions is an important part of self-awareness. There is a need to explore why certain paths are chosen over others, and whether there are underlying reasons for decisions and actions. Additionally, finding patterns of behavior over time and understanding how motivation can shift and change in different contexts is essential to self-awareness. The first step is to analyze and understand the motivation behind your decisions and actions. This involves examining why a particular path is chosen and how decisions are made. You need to evaluate whether you are making decisions out of habit, or if there is a deeper meaning behind them. It is also important to find hidden motivations. To do this, it helps to ask yourself the following questions long term. After exploring why a particular path was chosen, it is important to look for patterns of behavior over time. This will help you see how your new motivation influenced choices you made in the past and how it will affect your future decisions and actions. It is also useful to understand how motivation can shift and change, depending on the situation. This can help you make effective decisions and take the right action for any given situation. It is important to practice objectivity when evaluating motivations for decisions and actions. This can be done by examining your personal biases to see how they influenced your choices. It's also a good idea to objectively look at your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to gain greater clarity. Additionally, questioning your assumptions and analyzing conflicts between your emotions and logical thinking can help you make informed decisions. Finally, you should take time to reflect on the decisions and actions you have taken. Consider the impact this has had on your current situation and think about potential areas of improvement. Try to identify positive outcomes from your decisions and actions, as well as mistakes you have made. This can provide valuable insight into how you can make better decisions and take more effective actions in the future. By analyzing and understanding the motivations behind decisions and actions, finding patterns of behavior over time, and understanding how motivations shift and can change in different contexts, you can develop greater self-awareness and better understand your personal strengths and weaknesses. You can recognize it. This can help you make better decisions and take the right action in any given situation. Developing objectivity through self-reflection. Self-reflection is a very useful tool for gaining perspective on ourselves and the world around us. It can help us identify our own biases, learn how our thoughts, feelings, and actions are connected, and challenge the assumptions we have made about who we are and what we are capable of. To develop objectivity, we must be willing to look at our lives honestly and ask ourselves whether our views and beliefs are truly accurate. The first step to achieving objectivity is identifying and exploring personal bias. We all have our own unique beliefs and values, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be open to new ideas. It is important to recognize that our worldview is not the only worldview, and to be willing to take a step back and look at how our biases may be influencing our thinking. Once we have identified our biases, it is time to take an objective look at our thoughts, feelings, and actions. This involves looking at evidence for and against certain opinions we may have about ourselves or others. Do we truly believe that we are better than others in certain areas? Or is there any evidence to suggest that this is not the case? Being honest with yourself is key to developing objectivity. In addition to examining the evidence, it is also essential to question our assumptions. We can often find ourselves making assumptions about how people feel and think, without any evidence for these beliefs. When we take the time to question our assumptions, we can gain a better understanding of ourselves and our relationships. Finally, analyzing the conflict between emotions and logical thinking can help develop objectivity. There are times when logic and emotions lead to different conclusions. It may be helpful to examine both sides of the argument to reach a balanced conclusion. Developing objectivity is a lifelong process, but it is very rewarding. By looking at ourselves honestly and objectively, we can better understand who we are and how we can improve ourselves. Identify and explore personal biases, look objectively at our thoughts, feelings, and actions, examine evidence that supports or refutes our beliefs, question assumptions, and analyze conflicts between emotions and logical thinking. Everything we do can help us achieve our goals. Higher levels of self-awareness and objectivity. Learn to accept and appreciate yourself. Self-acceptance and gratitude are not easy skills to learn, but they are very valuable skills. Taking the time to look inward and accept your strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures is an important step in self-awareness. It helps you understand your true personality and builds resilience by making you feel comfortable with all parts of yourself. When working towards self-acceptance, it is important to acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses. Take time to reflect on your past accomplishments and successes, as well as your shortcomings and areas that need improvement. This will help you understand the scope of your abilities and how they can apply to different situations. Your self-image is largely shaped by external factors such as culture, family, peers, and messages from society. Look beyond external messages and discover your inner truth. It's also important to understand how you respond to different situations. Do you react with anger or fear? Do you tend to take a defensive or aggressive stance? Recognizing how you deal with problems can teach you a lot about yourself and help you develop more productive responses. Forgiving yourself is another part of learning to accept and appreciate yourself. We all make mistakes, but what matters is how we learn from them and move forward. Don't be too hard on yourself. Allow yourself the time and space to understand what went wrong and how to prevent it from happening again. Finally, look at your relationships with other people. Evaluate how they helped or hindered your development of self-awareness. Ask yourself if you are making the most of these relationships, and look for people and activities that have a positive impact on your journey towards self-awareness. Accepting and acknowledging yourself is an ongoing process, and it takes time and effort to develop the self-awareness necessary for success. Take time for self-reflection and understanding. And always remember to be kind and gentle with yourself. With patience and practice, you can achieve your goals and reach new levels of success. Relationships, a source of self-awareness. One of the most overlooked aspects when thinking about developing self-awareness is the impact relationships have. Relationships with others can open us up to new perspectives and shape our self-perception in both positive and negative ways. Assessing the quality of our relationships and exploring how it influences the development of our self-awareness can be a valuable tool to help us achieve our goals. It is important to learn how to express our feelings and emotions in healthy ways, and to understand how relationships can help or hinder our progress. It's important to take the time to identify people and activities that have a positive impact on your self-perception. We need to recognize how our relationships shape our perception of the world and our own self-perceptions and attitudes. Learning to recognize and appreciate the different perspectives of those around us can help us understand ourselves better. When we take the time to objectively evaluate our relationships, we can learn to accept and appreciate ourselves as we are. We can learn to forgive ourselves, recognize our strengths and weaknesses, and understand how our self-image has been shaped by external factors. Exploring our relationships and evaluating how they have influenced our self-perception is a key step in developing self-reflection skills. We can learn to identify and explore our own biases, question our assumptions, and analyze conflicts between our emotions and logical thinking. We can also gain insight into our own motivations for the decisions and actions we take, and begin to understand why we choose certain paths over others. Developing and expanding our self-awareness involves adapting not only to our thoughts, feelings, and actions, but also to the thoughts, feelings, and actions of those around us. Taking the time to explore the impact of relationships in your life can help you on your journey of self-discovery and give you the tools you need to reach a new level of understanding. Conclusion. This chapter explored the benefits of self-awareness, including understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, recognizing your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and developing objectivity through self-reflection. Additionally, learning to accept and appreciate yourself and examining your relationships to determine how they impact your self-awareness are important steps towards self-awareness. Ultimately, self-awareness can help individuals become more aware of themselves, leading to greater confidence and improved relationships. Common mistakes to avoid when practicing self-awareness. Many people believe that mindless distractions can help them reach higher levels of success. They think they can trick themselves into believing they are taking action and making progress, without actually making the effort to focus on what their goals are. This couldn't be further from the truth. Mastery of flow teaches that you can significantly improve your performance and efficiency through regular mindfulness practice and actively training your mind to stay focused on the task at hand. Another mistake people make is thinking that they can go from distraction to full focus in an instant. This is simply impossible. It takes focus, determination, and dedication to truly reach higher levels of success. To master deep flow skills, the authors advise taking baby steps and gradually increasing the time you spend on focused activities. People often let outside influences dictate their focus and actions. They forget that only their actions and choices determine success. The mastery of flow teaches us that time spent on mindless activities is wasted time, and that intentional, goal-directed action is key. Finally, many people feel overwhelmed by the idea of mastering their focus. The truth is that it is manageable and achievable. The author's helpful exercises and strategies will teach readers how to break down any desired task into smaller, more manageable chunks. This will increase clarity, focus, and productivity toward your end goal, making it easier to reach and accomplish your tasks.